everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Duck Duck Bros, man. And today, I know it's been a while since this happened, but the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame results came in, and we had one, right? Just one lone guy make it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And his name is David Big Papi Ortiz.
One guy?
Wasn't it just him?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was the lone guy.
Or as far as players?
As far as players voted in.
There wasn't one more?
No, I mean, I think some guys got in on the, what do they call it? The era, the eras committee. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Nah, there was more than that, bud.
Yeah, no, I know, but like the people that, when you vote them in, it was just David Ortiz. And then there's another committee that votes in another set of players that like already went past their prime, that already passed their Hall of Fame thing, right? So it's like I think it's called like the Golden something committee, the Golden Era committee.
Eras?
Yeah, it goes by eras, and it's like like they have the people, right? When you do, after you do your 5 years, they vote for the Hall of Fame, right?
On right now, yeah.
Right, so that was the one that David Ortiz got. He was the only one. That was the one with Bonds on the list, Clemens, and then there's another committee that votes like on players that didn't make the Hall of Fame off the voting, but they get in anyways because these guys vote them in. And I know Gil Hodges was one of them because the Dodgers announced it.
Right.
And then,
I could do this. I could do this for you right now.
And Minnie Minoso, I know, is another one too.
It was so altogether, Bud Fowler. He was an executive. Gil Hodges, first baseman. Kim Cat, Kaat, pitcher. Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva,
okay,
Buck O'Neill, and then Big Papi Ortiz.
Yeah. All right.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that.
Now you know. Now you know, brother. All right.
There you go.
So
there goes another fun Duck Bros facts for you guys.
Yeah, two in a row. I wish we would have gave you guys one for the first one on that basketball one, but hey, I mean.
Kwame Brown busted twice. There you go. Wrap it up. 3 for 3, baby. Here we go.
Let's.
I mean, where do we want to start?
Exactly where I'm.
Where do we want to start?
I mean, all right. Here's my thing.
Do we just want to go straight with the elephant in the room?
Why not? Why the frick not? David Ortiz. All right. Here's my thing. I'm gonna just say my piece real quick. David Ortiz, numbers wise, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
I don't think anybody had a problem with that. The problem that people have, that I have,
I knew this was coming,
and a lot of baseball fans, right, have is David Ortiz was. Is it confirmed that he took steroids? His name, whatever the case is, his name is associated with steroids.
Erroneous on all accounts. Okay.
All right. So you're telling me the home run king in Barry Bonds, whose name is associated with steroids, doesn't get in. 762 home runs, or whatever it is that he ended with, doesn't get in. Roger Clemens, the guy with the most Cy Youngs in MLB history, doesn't get in because steroids. And there's a whole list of guys who haven't got in because of steroids that probably could get. I mean, Gary Sheffield, you would argue. Another guy with steroids. Clemens, obviously. Who else is in that list?
Mark
McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Those are just a few on the top of my head that,
I mean, those are key.
yeah.
Those guys that, I mean, steroids saved baseball,
I
right?
I am going to buy that sweater off Trevor Bauer's website.
I want to too.
Steroids save baseball.
They did,
No, I truly believe it. I
you know.
truly believe it. That's why.
So to answer your question, for the David Ortiz thing, that was when, remember when they had the list of like over 100 MLB players,
All those guys were on
and
that
he,
list.
right, and he was on it,
Yeah,
right, the list from 2003,
yeah. Barry
right,
Bonds was on that list. Clemens was on that list.
right.
Palmeiro was on that
But
list. Canseco, McGuire, Sosa, Manny
Manny Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Um, so I mean, I don't know the whole story as far as why it was kind of like, oh, no, he didn't, like, you
I
know,
I think it just
but it
comes.
happened.
I mean, the argument that I've seen happening is he was a likable guy. You know,
Right.
so everyone, like, even though he did it, like David Ortiz, oh, another guy we didn't mention, Alex Rodriguez. It's probably
Oh,
not gonna.
A-Rod.
Yeah, I don't think his
That's what.
name's coming
Oh
in the
my
Hall of
God.
Fame yet, but it will be, and he's not gonna get in. You know,
Right.
a
But
likable
remember
guy.
that's when we'll see, and I think this is something that for whatever reason, right, the writers take into account of not only, okay, is he a likable guy, but how did they react to it when that information came out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because remember when A-Rod went on that dumbass rant when he had that press conference and he was like, "Oh, well, I really didn't take anything, blah blah blah." And then he was like the water bottle thing, and he was like, "Look, if you tell me that if I drink this water, it's gonna make me play better, and I drink it, it's most likely going to make me play better." And people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Right? And I feel like it doesn't matter so much. Oh, yeah, he took it, right? But likable guy and how you react after it,
Mm-hmm.
Do you come out being like, "Oh yeah, you know what? My bad, guys,
Won't
I
happen
did it."
again.
Yeah, you know. Or is it going to be like A-Rod frickin' drinking Michael's special stuff over here,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for whatever reason, I never understood that, you know? I feel like these writers have too much power, and I don't understand why uh this is the case. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, let's make it very clear. All right. I'm gonna make it very clear. I do not. I'm not saying it was right that these guys take steroids. I don't condone it. I don't say go do it. But the fact of the matter is, if one guy's gonna get in, all of these guys need to get in because they need. It was a part of the game, right? I would have felt better if David Ortiz didn't get in, and the rest of these guys didn't get in, because then it would have been like, all right, they're doing it to everybody. But the fact that he got in, and there's guys that are better than him that were on that list, it's kind of like, what are you trying to say, right? Is A-Rod gonna make his amends now that he's a broadcaster on ESPN? Are people gonna start liking him and giving him like the benefit of the doubt? And just be like, oh yeah, he's cool now. Like after his career, he's cool. Like let's let him in. David Ortiz is in; he can get in too.
Well, so that's the thing. One, A-Rod is a hell of a lot like likable.
Yeah,
Now,
nowadays, yeah.
true.
But back when he was a
I like
player, he was
A-Rod.
a yeah. Nobody liked him
Yeah, no one liked him.
unless you were a
But
Yankee fan.
so that's another thing, right? I mean, a prime example is Kurt Schilling,
Yep,
too, right?
yep,
And it's not in the fact that he took steroids, it's the fact with his political stuff and
yeah,
his tweets and everything like that. And now the writers, nope.
yeah. And he's one of the best pitchers in the game to ever pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not letting him in because why? He's not a likable guy,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And then I forgot who it was a while back, but it was a player like, oh, he was a good teammate, and so they
Oh,
let him in.
yeah, it was Tony La Russa got him in. He got his guy in. I
Yep.
forgot who it was, but that guy's numbers are not Hall of Fame worthy. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
they weren't.
You're not,
Yeah, I
but
remember what you're talking about.
he's
I
a
was
likable
pissed.
guy.
Likable
He was a
guy,
great teammate.
likable guy.
He was a great teammate.
That's
What
what
the fuck?
my argument is. All right,
Right.
let's go. Let's say 30 years from now,
Hmm.
all these guys that are in the league now obviously will probably be retired, right?
Hmm.
My man, my boy, World Series champ, Banana Rally, Shake Your Booty, the Puerto Rican stud, Kike Hernandez, right? I'm not saying he's terrible. He's a great player, right? He's a good player. He's not a superstar. I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer. But let's say somebody in that Hall of Fame committee is like Tony La Russa and says, you know what, I played with Kike Hernandez. Let's say it's Clayton Kershaw that's in the committee, right? And he said, I played with Kike. He's a great guy. He's a great teammate. Let's put him in the Hall of Fame. That's the way I see it. Not
Yeah.
he was good. He was great. But he's a great teammate. Let's put him in the Hall of Fame. That's where I.
Now ask me if I would be mad about it.
Would you be mad about it?
No, I fucking love Kike
Oh yeah, I
Hernandez.
love Kike Hernandez, but
No, yeah, no,
okay.
that's
This is how the way I see it. Right, out of the three major sports here in the U.S., baseball, basketball, football. Football, it seems like if you have like a good like 3 years in the league, like dominant years, you're probably gonna get in. You know, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Basketball, there's like it's kind of the
You're
same. Like
very strict.
if you're in there, like if you have a solid career, chances are you're gonna get in. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, if you look at the what the 75 anniversary
Yeah.
uh list, we had guys in our generation already that was on
Oh
top
yeah. Those guys
275,
are those guys are gonna be Hall of Famers.
right? And
These.
they're not even done with their
Yeah,
careers,
they're not. Yeah. So
So
it's
it's so
yeah.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? You don't have to have crazy careers. But
Hmm.
baseball, like if you don't have 3,000 hits, if you don't have 500 plus home runs, if you don't like there's these like milestones that you have to reach to be a Hall of Fame. It seems like it's like this exclusive club, you know. So the fact that you're letting in guys just because they're great guys or great teammates is kind of just like it kind of like you know
I'm glad you brought this up.
yeah, because it's like
Can
to me it's like you hold this standard, but you're letting like this is the standard, and you got guys that are like like they were great, but they weren't Hall of Fame. You know,
right, right, right.
like
So
are they?
can I mention one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Does the name Edgar Martinez mean anything to you?
DH, right? That's a yeah,
Mariners?
Mariners. Yeah, his numbers are solid, right?
Solid.
Great.
I would say great. You know, 22,470 hits, 47 hits, 514 doubles, 15 triples, uh, 1,219 runs, 309 home runs. You
Mid.
know, uh,
That's mid.
batting average 312, OPS,
That's good. That's
on
high.
base percentage 418,
That's
OPS
good.
933,
That's
slugging
good.
515.
That's solid.
It's
Solid.
Hall
I
of
would.
Fame career. Yeah,
I would
I'm
say
for
like
DH.
get it. I'll get it for DH. Yeah, you get
For
in for
DH.
that.
For DH. Should I go over Barry Bonds'?
I'm fast. Yeah. Let's. I mean, I already know the 762.
Right.
Show me the money,
Okay, here we go. Right.
Barry
Do you know
Bonds.
what year they suspected him to start taking steroids?
I would probably say those like two early 2000 years, right?
You'd be very close. Apparently, it was after the 1998 season.
Okay. When he
Okay,
got to Frisco, huh?
so that's what everyone agrees on. Is that because that's when Sammy Sosa and Mike and McGuire was going off, and he apparently got jealous
And he wanted to
that
join
they
the
were going
fun.
off, and he wanted to join the fun,
And then he
right?
blasted 70 plus home runs.
Okay, so keep in mind the stats I said about Martinez, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got you the first 12 years of his career,
Oh, don't say that, bro. Don't tell me that, bro.
right?
312. If you say anything above a 312, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about
Home runs are probably in the 300s somewhere.
I wasn't even talking. I didn't do batting average.
Just tell me what you got.
Okay, so by the way, Martinez, his whole career, five silver sluggers, no MVPs, and no gold gloves, and what, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven All-Star appearances in 18-year career,
All right.
mind you.
Then this is the first 12 years you said of Barry Bonds' career.
And this is gonna be the first 12 pre apparently what from our timeline pre steroid use.
Oh, great. Let me
Are
sit
you
down and
ready?
relax. And
No, are you? Yeah.
because I'm
Are
about
you?
to get real angry. I already know it. Say it.
Yes. Sit down. Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down, buddy. I'm
Okay,
sitting
cool.
down.
That's good. Just want to make sure. I'm gonna start with the home runs. 411 home runs.
Okay.
1,216 RBIs.
That's about 1,000 less than what? No, that's around the same, right?
It's around the same. Uh, but Martinez had 1261 his whole career.
So Bonds got
RBIs.
one more in those 12 years.
No, Bonds had like 50 less.
Oh, 50. I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
Yeah, about 50 less. I mean, 47, 44 less to be exact.
That's
Oh no, 54 less.
that's still nothing.
Like 44 less. Yeah.
That's like half a season,
Yeah.
and he played 6 less seasons in that span.
hmm He got rookie of the year,
Of course, he was a beast.
3 MVPs
Three. Is this all before he got to San Francisco?
before 1999. No, this is San Francisco too.
Okay.
But they said after the 1998 season is apparently when he started taking 8 Gold Gloves,
Yeah, he's a beast.
7 Silver Sluggers, and 8 All-Star appearances.
8 All-Star appearances.
8 All-Star appearances. And
And he was a home run leader one of those years, I believe. I believe he led the league in home runs one of those years.
he led the league in runs in 1992, led the league in home runs and RBIs in 1993.
I'm sure that's when he won one of the MVPs.
Correct. And he went back-to-back MVPs.
Oh, he did win back-to-back MVPs. Wow. Wait, did he win
So,
MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same year?
mm-mm, this rookie of the year.
Okay. Wow.
So,
Hmm.
I mean, my man had a Hall of Fame career already,
Before he took the
basically,
steroids.
before he took the steroids.
The steroids just made him better.
I mean,
And I mean, my thing is like, the steroids don't. I mean, it doesn't make you a better baseball player, perhaps, because I could take steroids right now, and I still wouldn't go pro.
Very true. I mean, my boy won 8 Gold Gloves.
That's enough.
That doesn't. I don't care what amount of steroids you take. You ain't if you can't catch a ball or ground a ball or anything, ain't even
When
help
did
you.
they start testing? That's my question.
Oh, I think I looked that up.
That's a good question. When was if you started testing at a certain point, right? Who's
Hold
to
on, I
say?
got
I
you.
mean, obviously, you wouldn't be able to go back and like test all these guys. It would all just be like a what do they call it?
Um,
What do they call it? Scouts honor, whatever.
oh yeah, Scouts Honor.
Yeah, at that point,
I mean,
But who's to say somebody else before that wasn't taking steroids? I mean, it's not fair to do
I
that,
would
but
say a
at the
whole
same
bunch of people.
time,
You
like I said, if one gets in, they're all getting in.
know, right? But I think the biggest thing is right is he doesn't have a Hall of Fame career either way.
Oh yeah, definitely. After you just naming those numbers, you said it. The facts say otherwise. I mean, it says
Mhm.
if
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like my whole thing is why is it that you're going to have in the Baseball Hall of Fame and we're going to go off of this steroid era as is commonly known, right? And oh, you took steroids in the steroid era. No, you can't make the Hall of Fame,
it's a hit,
you know?
it's part of the game's history at this point,
Yeah, it
and
is.
I
And I
think
mean, those people are a part of the history,
mm-hmm,
you know, and then they deserve to be in it, you know?
if there's a guy in it already, I that's what I think. I mean, you already got
I'm sure
you
there
got
are.
the guy in, let
Right.
them all in.
I mean,
And it's just
who's this?
crazy because
this
like he got in on all these guys' last year of getting in. Like their last chance of getting in, like Bonds,
mhm.
Clemens. It was all their last chance of getting
And he was the
in.
only one.
And he was the only one on
They just want to,
his first year on the ballot.
bro.
I I don't know.
Some agua. Um,
I it's
bro,
just
I'm telling you, it's just.
that's the problem that I have. Like I said, if you're gonna get it, if one guy gets in, they're all gonna get in, and it's just
I'm
gonna open
telling
the
you,
floodgates. And
I
then
think they bullied him.
it
This is some like you bullied me back in the day type of no, I'm not gonna you
yeah.
know let you in the Hall of
And
Fame type of.
honestly, I don't think the writers like should be the ones voting for it. That's my honest opinion. I think the players, if you've played, if you're retired and you've played one, if you're a Hall of Famer, you get a vote.
Hall of Famers should get the votes.
Hall of Famers should get the votes, and I would even throw in guys who've played, who are eligible. The guys that have played. I would even throw in the guys that have played. What is it? 10 plus years. You had 10 years to be eligible Hall of Fame.
I think so.
Yeah, you had to play at least 10 years. I would even throw in some of those guys to like. I would throw in those guys to vote too. I mean, they're the vets, right? The guys that you know.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
my whole thing is like we like there's so many stories about Barry Bonds and how good he was, and I like this with the bat and being able to place it wherever you wanted or anything like that.
And
And
then and just being a
like,
wizard on defense.
yeah, but it's
And
like
bro,
I don't know. I
they
don't.
walked him with the bases loaded.
Hmm.
That's how scary he was.
Right.
Nobody wanted to face him. He was
Mm-mm.
a force to be reckoned with. Is there was Barry Bonds the only guy that you had that on, or is there any record on Clemens? I'm curious because I know Clemens won a lot of his Cy
I mean,
Youngs
I
in
can
the
look that up.
'90s. You know, because like let me see, that list came out in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
What Clemens was winning all his Cy Youngs. What 86, 87, 91,
Mm-hmm.
97, 98, 01, 2004. One MVP in 86. You telling me he was taking steroids all the way back in 1986?
See, that's the whole thing. I think I'm not sure. I would have to look it up,
Yeah.
and maybe we just have a steroid era podcast where we just talk about all the guys from the steroid era, right? And then you know all that stuff because what like just let alone like the home run race is something that I would love to talk about.
Oh, dude, I watched that documentary on ESPN.
Amazing.
It's so fun. I mean, it was just
Hmm.
a fun time. I mean, I know we were wee little lads
Oh yeah,
during
I was
the
in.
time. I mean, what 2, 3 years old at the time.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember it, but dude, watching it, just like,
Going
dude,
back,
this is fun. Like, people said they would stop a local news to tune in
right?
on guys at bats. Like, you're stopping the news right in the middle of a car chase. Like, yeah, we're gonna get this guy.
Crazy.
Like, hold up, guys. We got breaking news. Mark McGuire's up to bat right now to hit. Like, let's see if he hits a home
That's
run. You know what
wild,
I'm
bro.
saying?
Everybody was looking at it.
You know what I mean?
Everybody,
Like,
like that's wild.
it's just crazy to
Like,
think.
and it's crazy to think because you don't see that in any sport anymore.
No, no. You don't see. You
You
don't watch
don't.
sports. It's like, oh, breaking news. Like, so and so's up to
Yeah.
bat. Like, let's watch.
Or you don't really see like, oh, like I need to watch this game or I need to watch this at bat or anything like that. Let alone this
Mm-hmm.
shot or this game for unless it's like last games
Mm-hmm.
or
Like Kobe's last
he
game.
may break a record, right?
Yeah.
Not, oh, he may get the home run lead
Mm-hmm.
this game because two guys are going at it.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think that's why it was happening.
That's all right. And speaking of this steroid era, the MLB agreement to drug
Oh,
tests just expired recently.
they said apparently they're gonna figure that out soon.
It's the steroid era back though. Coming out of the lockout, a lot of
I'm
fans
telling
are
you right now.
a lot of fans are already saying like no, like fuck this, like we're not watching baseball no more. Like, there's a lot of people that are like dude, like yeah, we're done. Like they think these baseball players are spoiled, like, like asking for more money. Owners is like don't want what's best for the game. And they're just like, how do you think that's the way to win them back? I mean, if they're not testing you, might get
So
that needle.
so this is the thing, right? With the whole Barry Bonds thing, with the whole David Ortiz thing, with everything, I feel like you have this old era, right?
Then you have the steroid
Which are
era.
for no, you have these like old era guys, right? Of, oh, keep the game clean, blah blah blah, cheater,
Yeah,
cheater, cheater, whatever, right? And that's all fine and dandy, right? And which is I feel like a lot of them are these writers, right?
yeah, definitely.
Like they're all old, and everything like that. And now you have these like, let the kids play era like that we're coming into, and we want to see the, Tatis, the flat like 3-2, the three
I
zero
want to see
grand
bats.
slam,
I
like,
want to see
yeah,
bats flying to dugouts.
exactly, right. We want to, pimp that shit,
Hmm.
and then the rest of the people, the old heads are just kind of like, oh no, we don't want to see that played right, like blah 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 blah
Let
blah,
Bruce Dart throw
like,
his fucking hat and glove into the dugout.
right, exactly, like I want to see some fucking emotion on the field,
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing is like, one, baseball looked always like so like boring
Professional and
because,
elegant and like,
yeah, that was never really allowed. You know, if
yeah.
you did that, the next pitch, one of your guys doesn't get hit.
Oh, definitely. You're
You know,
definitely getting one to the dome right now.
right, and it was like act like you've been there before, like, but like, you know, all this professional, talk and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it's like, if you look at the NBA, bro, if you look at the NFL, they're, yeah, they're you dunk on somebody, they're out here, you
Splash in
know,
someone's face.
up, you fucking threes up here, you got Tyreek Hill with the peace sign,
Yeah,
all this stuff, right? And it's like baseball really didn't allow that stuff, right? And with the unwritten rules, and they govern themselves, and you're either gonna get thrown at and whatnot, right?
definitely.
But now we got these new era people, right? Like us that enjoy it, they want to see it,
Yeah, I want to see
right?
it. I want to see it.
And
Respect the game, but also have some fun doing it.
right, exactly, right. And so this is where I'm at with the steroid thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is we would love to see that shit.
Yeah,
I would love
I
to see
want
that
the
shit.
best of both worlds.
I do.
You know,
I like,
I want the respect, but I also want the fun.
right.
You
You
know,
know,
I want to be able to respect you enough that I can bat flip this thing right now, and you're not going to get
hmm
mad at me. You know,
right.
it's
You know, and so it's it's really it's like I feel like it's 50-50. You have the old people coming out, right? I'm just gonna call them old because it's the old school thoughts and the old school way of doing it,
yep,
and now you have the new school coming in and showing that emotion, and it's making the game funner, you know. And I think that's where it has to go, right?
yeah,
And as far as steroids and everything like that, I think it's the same way,
mm-hmm,
right? I look at it, I'm like, we have a steroid era. We probably have people that took steroids and we never found out because we never started testing
and we're
until
never going to find out
we're never going to find out until they come,
if they come clean,
on their come clean or they're on their deathbed and be like, yeah, I juiced, whatever
and
it is.
probably will
We're
never,
never going to find out.
never.
Never, but there probably are. Like, if we're being honest, for sure there are,
Mm-hmm,
you know, yeah,
definitely.
and it comes down to the point where it's like, at one point are we just going to be accept the fact that yeah, there is a steroid era, yeah, there's people that
It, ha- it,
changed the game
it has to be now.
and they took steroids, and I think it's not going to be now because I think we have these old writers
Oh
still.
yeah,
I think it's going to
definitely.
be the next,
It
I would say, the next 5 to 10 years
it has to
when we
be
when we have new.
now because the fact that you let a guy with steroids in knowingly took steroids. It had
But
like
see, that's what I thought, right? That's what I thought. But obviously they didn't do it because the people that were on their last ballot,
mm-hmm.
they didn't let them in.
What do you think about the
You know?
um? There's like a I think it was like a I don't know if it was a rumor or a joke that the Giants were gonna sign Barry
Oh,
Bonds to a 1 day contract.
start his time over.
Yeah, so he can get his in another 5 years get another chance at Hall of Fame.
Honestly, I think that's the only way you can do it.
I mean that or like the gold the committee just get him in, but at that point
But
it
I
just
don't treat that as the same.
I know yeah definitely not it's not
It's not the
and it
same.
sucks too because I mean I know Gil Hodges is I believe Gil Hodges is gone right
hmm I believe so.
yeah he died in the 70s so it's
hmm
like dude like
It doesn't even
you
matter,
want these guys there
right?
when they get accepted into all. You want that speech, you
Mhm.
know. That's the
Right.
one, you know. Talking about off a little off topic, but that's the one thing I wish, you know, that the biggest thing is being a Kobe fan that I felt
hmm
like you know that he didn't get to talk at his own Hall of Fame speech.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know that, not you know, on him on different circumstances, obviously, but the fact that these guys are now getting in after the fact, like
hmm
who knows if Barry Bonds gets in, and if he does, is he still gonna be alive when he does get in? Who because
Right.
it could be 30, 40 years from now, he could be gone,
hmm
and you just be like, dude, like now you let him in, like
Right.
you know, like
And that's the thing, right? Especially if you're a fan of them,
yeah,
right? And like, and not just that, man, but I think and this is why, like, I kind of feel like the Hall of Fame should be, Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
And maybe that's a little bit more like, oh, this is our club, get out,
Yeah. Oh,
type
yeah.
thing,
That's what it
right?
feels
Like,
like. Definitely.
you know, if we do it that way,
Right.
right? But I feel like it should be that
Yeah.
because I think, you know, no matter what, I think the best thing for any player,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we played and I think it was always cool when um, you get acknowledged by your peers,
Oh yeah, definitely. If
right?
yeah.
And even the right, your peers, teammates, and everything like that, perfect, right? But when you get acknowledged by even your rivals,
Yeah.
even people that you played against, like people
Mm-hmm.
that didn't like you, but you
At
know
the end of
what,
the
they
day,
respected
yeah.
and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the biggest thing, and that's probably the thing that, you know, um, means more to the players,
Yeah.
right? Is hey, you know what? Oh, look at all these guys. Like, look at
Yeah.
the guys I
They.
looked up to. Look at the
Yep.
guys that agreed for me to
Yep.
be part of their group,
Yep.
you know? And I think that's more meaningful than some punk ass writer that didn't you know, uh, this person because his political views or because he did this or he said that or whatever grudge that they might have against him,
Yeah.
right? I think they should relook, at the voting. They should relook at other things because I think if nothing more, the voting now is doing a disservice for at least the fans that love baseball, right?
Yeah.
And grew up watching, some of these guys. And I may not remember, you know, Sammy Sosa or McGuire, but I remember very, you know, very little. I was, you know, what he
Dude.
retired 2007 to
I, bro. I remember going to
2000.
Dodger games and just hating Barry Bonds. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I was too young to realize how great of a fucking player
Hmm.
he was, but just the fact that he was
Yeah.
a giant and he was
Hmm.
one of the best hitters in the game, that guy was up to bat. The fucking whole stadium was booing that fool, and it was the
Hmm.
fucking funnest time ever, booing
Right.
that guy.
But
But
the
looking back as a Dodgers fan, like not take that out of consideration, is that he was one of the most feared hitters that everybody knew that. Because
yep.
who's going up to
Because
bat? Who's going up to bat right now on the Giants that you're genuinely just afraid of and booing them?
yeah, because
Nobody.
I
Nobody.
was little, but I do remember
Yeah.
every single time he came up, I was like, obviously I was little, probably didn't use these words, but this is what I felt. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. like,
I was like,
like
fuck.
when he went up to bat, you were
Yes,
booing, but you were locked in on that. Like,
yeah.
at bat,
I
like
was not
like.
missing a swing
Yep. Because
because
this pitch
you
might end up
knew
on the
at
moon.
any point, yeah, this ball was gonna go bye bye,
Yep.
and there's and I think if nothing more, that imagery and that feeling that you got just tells you how amazing he was as a player.
Oh, oh,
Steroids are not like I don't really care. I feel like um maybe a little bit more, you know, later, but I mean, if you look at it, even allegedly before, I think he was you know, that same batter. I mean, if you look at this stretch here from 1992 to 1998, 46 home runs, 37, 33, 42, 40, 37.
and he made all star team all those years, right? And
Yep.
won MVP twice.
Three times.
Oh, he won three times during that span.
Oh, no, 1990 was his first one. So, no. So, two times. Yeah. But he had MVP votes for since 1990 to
Oh, definitely. I mean, he was one of the best players in the league.
2004. So 14 years
Guys,
straight,
yep. Put him in.
So, but
Put him
it
in,
just,
baby. Somebody make a
you
call.
know,
Griffey, make the call for him.
and that's his Barry Bonds because it's Barry Bonds, right? We're not even talking about Sammy Sosa. We're not even talking about Mike uh, McGuire. We're not even talking about Manny Ramirez
Or Clemens.
or Clemens or anyone else. It's
The best player.
best player to possibly ever do it. And he's not it.
The best player to You know, the best guy of that list, of that steroid list,
The
is not
most
in.
feared, or hands down, the most feared
I guarantee you,
batter
ask
in MLB history.
if we got all the Hall of Famers from his era, from when he started playing until, obviously when he retired, all those guys that played either with him or against him, probably besides Jeff Kent, would say that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Well, Jeff Kent's not even in the Hall of Fame, but
Yeah,
took
I
all the Hall
mean,
of Famers, but
I
all the
mean,
Hall of Famers would
it,
probably, I would think that they would say, yeah, Barry Bonds belongs in the
I
Hall of
don't
Fame.
know. I don't understand how you could be a fan of baseball and be like Barry Bonds doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. For the people for the people who are like, oh, he cheated. No, no one should be. Anybody that cheated should be in the Hall of Fame.
Huh?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I understand that
yeah.
logic,
I
but
understand. Like, by the way, like I keep saying, dude, it's either they all in or none of them get in, and that's how it should
yeah,
be.
and yes, I agree with that too, and I
Yep.
agree. Oh, he cheated. Blah blah blah. Right. Cool. Okay. But yet again, like we have like go back steroid era. We have all like
Yep.
it's
Yep.
part of the history, part of
Mm-hmm.
the game now.
Yeah, because
There's
who's to
no
say
denying
20 years from now, right? Say that with a juice ball, right?
live player.
The juice ball, remember, like, who's to say, like, oh yeah, but yeah, I don't know, Mike Trout wouldn't have had that many home runs if it wasn't for the juice ball, like, bro, like, it was part of baseball, bro, like,
Well, Barry Bonds wouldn't have had that many home runs if he wasn't playing against fucking plumbers. Okay, same thing.
Babe
You
Ruth,
know?
right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, we want to go there. Like,
Yeah, Babe Ruth wouldn't have
that was that was their fucking part-time job. You know? Like, they were fucking building cars, and they were like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. Probably should do the field. Like,
time to
smoking cigars and drinking beers in the dugout. Like, come
time
on,
to
bro.
head to Ebbets to play with the Dodgers.
Right? Like there's different eras for a reason,
Hmm.
and it's part of the history. Like especially for a game that's been around for dope, bro, like centuries, like
Yeah,
literally,
a whole
you
century
know.
and some
You
change.
can't try to group all that together. That's why there's eras of fucking
And
baseball.
did Barry Bonds ever, like, test positive, or was he just on that list?
I have no idea to be honest.
Because if that's the, I've always, I could be wrong, but I've always
I think
been
he
under the
owned it.
assumption that he never tested positive for it.
I think he came clean.
Oh, he came clean.
I think so. I think so.
Because if that was the case, then I would have just been like, dude, like, you don't even have no evidence on this guy. Just going off what
This is
somebody said. Just this guy just made a list and said, yeah, all you guys,
oh yeah.
all y'all fucked. All of y'all are going down tonight. But yeah, I agree. Barry Bonds. It's just, that's the thing. It happened. Is that's one of those guys. One of those guys got in, and it wasn't the guy that we thought it was gonna be. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Oh, see, I feel like we were. Do you remember this? I don't remember this. That he was apparently found guilty of one count in steroids case. He was found guilty of obstruction of justice.
I don't know. I don't know.
That
So
he lied to a grand jury in 2003 when he specifically denied that he knowingly used steroids and human growth hormones.
how would you
So
even?
he lied about it. See, I feel like that's the bigger story.
Yeah, but if you never test positive, then how do you prove that wrong?
I have no idea.
Tell.
maybe this witness account,
Yeah.
right? He probably got the doctor or the trainer that he used that gave him the stuff, and then maybe they got him to confess and say it, right? But
Maybe.
either way, see, I feel like this is more like the reason why he's not in
Yep.
than anything else, right?
Definitely.
Not so much,
You
not
know,
so much what he
when
did, but how he went about
when
coming clean about it.
when we do the steroid era episode,
Hmm.
I think we should get somebody on that's a little bit older to see what they think. Because I feel like
Yeah.
we're in that mix of,
Right.
you know,
But it would have to be someone that like watched all of this.
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm
Somebody like,
talking about like Sosa, the
oh yeah,
McGuire,
definitely.
like
I have
and
a guy.
was it
I
like
think I have a guy in mind.
and was in deep for the Barry Bond stuff and the hearings and all that stuff because apparently it was back in 2003 and I can tell you right now the last thing I was worried about was any type of Supreme Court hearing,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Definitely.
oh or grand jury, sorry, hearing or anything
I don't
along
know.
those lines.
Yeah,
I was out there trying to be Barry Bonds myself. You feel me?
yeah.
Um,
I'm definitely. I want to hear the opinion of somebody that's just
yeah.
that saw all this and just what they think and what they feel like a
Mhm.
true baseball guy.
You know what? You guys let us know how you feel too.
Yeah, let us know what you
You
guys
know,
think.
I would think that we might be in agreement of some of
Yeah,
these
yeah. I
things,
feel like if
and we
you're,
might not.
I mean, if you guys are like around our age and you don't agree, I would love to hear why.
Right.
Definitely, just
I
leave a
mean,
comment, whatever, wherever you see this, hear it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think because definitely would want to know what it is that is why you would didn't have Barry Bonds, and do you think David or like do you agree that David Ortiz is in and these guys are not? Not so
and you
much
know,
just Barry Bonds alone.
right. Sosa, McGuire,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Maybe even Schilling if you want to,
mm-hmm.
go on that
Yeah. Because it just
aspect
yeah,
too.
because that's the big
You
argument is good guy versus bad guys. Really,
Mhm.
like yeah,
Right.
he did this, but like he's a good guy still at the end of the day.
Right. And do you think it's so much that they were caught, or is it, the A-Rod, maybe this grand jury and the way that he lied about it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that more of a reason why than, oh, he took steroids?
Yep.
Because in my eyes, I feel like it might be more of that of the lying and maybe not the coming clean right away, right?
Yeah.
And owning your mistake.
Of course.
And, maybe it's the integrity aspect of it.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so. Yeah, let us know. We would love to hear you. If you guys have any ideas of what you guys want us to talk about, if you guys want the steroid pod
Yeah.
or, anything,
Steroid
you
era.
know,
Maybe bring a
if you want
special
me to
guest
do
in. If you want to
if you
be
want
that.
me to do steroids and maybe we could document.
Start playing Sunday League and see if his velo gets any
I
better, if
get
it
better.
makes a
Yeah.
difference hitting. Let us know, man. Let us know what you guys think. Does Barry Bonds belong in the Hall of Fame along with the rest of those steroid era guys? Uh, is David Ortiz valid to get in and the rest of them not? Or if do you think he shouldn't be in there as well as well as with all these other guys that are not in? Let us know what
But
you
do you
guys think.
do you agree with the voting? If the voting should
Oh
change,
yeah,
all that stuff,
the voting.
let
Yeah,
us know.
let us know
There's a lot to
what
talk about
system
this.
would you use to get in. Do you think we
Mhm.
should have all these different committees that just vote guys in? There's
Mhm.
a lot, man. Until next time.
We
Yep. Adios, muchachos and
see you later.
muchachas. Later.
Muchachas. Hello.